he'd unfold his arms, we could tell you if he's number 24 or not. He is.
As we're looking at some of the alumni players, who's number 14?
Number 14.
David Atkins, I think.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. How come he's not on my list? These guys, they furnished me these player lists, and they're halfway complete. Typical. How come there's no number 14 out there?
Because they didn't have it on my list.
Oh, come on. All right, Tigers will inbound in the backcourt as DeWitt gives it in to St. Clair. They double team him, gives it back to DeWitt. He slips, goes to the floor, ball knocked loose, rolls out of bounds. They give it back to the Tigers.
I think we must have a wet spot there.
A couple of them went down, didn't they? So now they're going to inbound it from the baseline. As DeWitt will inbound it. Gets it out to center court to Miller. Lays it for St. Clair. St. Clair on the move. Goes down. Lays it up over top of Martin. We got a whistle and a charge. Called on Jeff St. Clair. That's number 1 on Jeff. Team foul number 4 on the Tigers. 3:37 left to play in the first quarter. Tigers leading 10-7. As Eddie McKay into the front court with it for the Alumni. To Taylor. Firing from about 17 feet right side. No good. Rebound comes out to St. Clair. Jeff on the move with it to the front court. Looking underneath. Looking for Miller. Can't get him. So now he goes down. Gives it to Eads. Eads goes under. Puts it up. He is fouled. The bucket did not go, but the foul called on Kevin Martin. And that's number 2 on Martin, number 4 on the Alumni. And we'll have Eads on the line. He'll shoot 2. How'd they get that on Eddie McKay? He wasn't even there.
I believe it's on Martin.
Well, it was on Martin. As Eads fires the first free throw, it's good. 7-7. Tigers up by 4 now as Mike Eads puts one in. Talking with Earl before the game, he said he might give us a double cradle rock over the head stuff tonight. As Eads fires, no good. Rebound to Taylor of the Alumni. Kicks it outside to Edwards. Edwards on the run with it to the front court as Eads cuts him off. As Edwards goes to the baseline, fires off the iron, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. As Miller up to get it, Walker knocked it away out of bounds. It'll be Tiger ball. Still played on the baseline in the backcourt. As James DeWitt will inbound it for the Tigers. As the Alumni is pressing, the inbounds pass to Miller. Miller dribbling into the front court. They got a 3-on-2 fast break. Leaves it off to Eads. Goes under, lays it up and in. As Jimmy Miller working a middle on that 3-on-2 fast break. Gave it off to Eads, and Eads got the bucket. Assist to Miller. As the Alumni comes back to the front court, and we've got a foul call on Mike Eads, maybe as Edwards trying to drive. It is on Mike Eads. And that's team foul number 5, and that's number 2 on Mike. And that'll put Mark Edwards on the free throw line. He'll shoot a 1-on-1, I believe, or did they call it a shooting foul?
I believe they called a shooting foul. Let's see. No, it is 1-on-1.
Okay, I figured he was fouled on the drive. That's evidently so. It'll be 1-on-1. Mark Edwards on the line for the Alumni. As Edwards fires with the right hand, it's off the glass and good. I thought it was too hard, but he got the glass and it kicked into the front iron and down. Coming into the ball game for the varsity right now is number 33. That's David Phillips, a 6'3.5" 185-pound sophomore. As Edwards ready to fire again, puts it up. It's off the flange, no good. Rebound comes to the lane. Picked up by Walker underneath. Puts a shot up, no good. Miller rebounds for the Tigers this time. Kicks it outside to Jeff St. Clair, and Jeff moves it to the front court. To DeWitt. Drives from the corner. Puts it up and in. James DeWitt in there. A foul called on DeWitt after the shot. The bucket will be good. And the foul called on James DeWitt. And that's number 1 on James. Team foul number 6 on the Tigers. And it'll have one of the Alumni shooting as they walk the length of the court.
The goal is good by James.
And it'll be Edwards back on the line again for the Alumni. As Edwards on the line, he'll shoot a 1-on-1. And he's ready. He fires with the right hand. It's on the way, and no good off the front of the iron. Taylor rebounds in the lane, fakes, and travels. He didn't travel. He just took a hike, didn't he?
Big giant step.
Going to travel that far, he needs a suitcase. As the Tigers bring it into Miller, gives it to Phillips. Phillips drives into the lane, trying to get it to Murray, knocked loose, and out of bounds. It'll be out to the Tigers. As Phillips taking a pass from Miller, breaking to the lane, they cut him off, laid it underneath for Murray, and it was tipped out of bounds as DeWitt inbounds it to St. Clair. Firing off the baseline, it's good. He is fouled by Eddie McKay. And on Eddie, that's foul number 1. Team foul number 6 on the Alumni blue. There's 5. Okay, 5. And that'll put Jeff St. Clair on the line. He'll have 1 shot. 17-8. Tigers enjoying a 9-point advantage right now with 2:36 left to play in the first quarter. And St. Clair fires. It's off the flange, no good. Rebound to Kevin Martin of the Alumni. Gets it out to Edwards. Mark into the front court with a left-hand dribble. Takes it down the left side into the lane. Puts a shot up, no good. Rebound. Flipped around into the lane. Fought for. We got a scramble on the floor, and that's Miller underneath that, isn't it?
It looks like it's going to be Miller and Eddie McKay, but it might be a mismatch.
I'll tell you one thing, Miller keeps jumping around that floor like that. Ralph Ball's hair is going to be as white as Bruce Henthorne's.
That goes back to what I said. This is a fun game for the participants, and you hope that nobody gets hurt against this type.
You can see Ralph breaking out the cold sweat down there. So Miller tips it, and it's taken by Hobart Taylor as he fires a shot. Good, as Taylor hits it from 14 feet. 17-10. Tigers up in the Alumni. Steal the inbounds pass. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken by the Alumni as Walker's got it out on the side now, on the dribble with it. As Lee Walker gets it to Taylor. He'll fire from 13 feet. It's good. As the Alumni get within 5, 17-12, and the inbounds pass, we got a foul in the backcourt as the Alumni pressing with a man-to-man defense on the Tigers.
You just had your 4th block shot by James DeWitt.
Yeah.
In the first quarter.
So they got a foul, and that foul was called on Eddie McKay, and that's going to put Jeff St. Clair on the free throw line. He'll shoot 1 and 1. That's foul number 2 on Eddie. Team fouls up in the half dozen range, so they're already in the bonus. It makes no difference now. As St. Clair firing with the right hand. It's in and out. No good. Rebound pulled down by Walker, the Alumni. Throws it away, trying to get it to McKay, and threw it out of bounds to the Alumni bench. Caught some of the old grads by surprise. Bounced that around over there. So the Tigers will have it on offense now as DeWitt will inbound it from side court. He's in the front court as DeWitt gets it into Phillips. As Phillips comes to meet it, ball taken away as Lee Walker makes a steal. Walker goes down, drives, puts it up no good as Phillips goaltending. Phillips goes in behind him and slaps it off of the board, and they call David Phillips for the goaltending. 17-14 now as the Alumni close the gap to 3 on the varsity. A minute 52 to play in the first quarter as David Phillips will inbound it for the Tigers. Gets it into St. Clair. St. Clair in the backcourt, they double team him. He gets it to DeWitt. DeWitt takes it into the front court on the move. When it goes down, lays it up. We got a whistle and traveling call as he was working on Kevin Martin. And I think everybody knew where he was going. As the Alumni brings it to the offense. Mark Edwards with the ball, brings it to the front court. Gets around Phillips, goes to the right side, holds up. Now he'll fire from 14 feet. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by DeWitt. DeWitt lays it out for Phillips. Phillips runs it down close to the baseline and steps on the baseline before he gets it back in. As the pass had just a hair too much lead on it. 17-14, a minute 31 to play in the first quarter. The Tigers leading by 3 as McKay with the ball. Gets it to the front court for the Alumni. On the dribble with it. Fires from 12 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Walker in the lane. Puts it up. Miller goaltends with no call on it. As McKay picks the ball up out of the lane, puts the shot up, no good. Taylor rebounds for the Alumni. Fakes the shot. Now he fires from 14 feet, good.
Goal, Howard Taylor.
As Taylor gets it 17-16 as the Tigers come back. Murray with the ball in the front court. Gives it to Miller in the lane. Goes across the lane. Puts a shot up, no good. Comes off the glass in the iron, and Walker rebounds and travels. And Zeb Campbell said that block was not goaltending. He had it on the way up, but Jim's hand was well above the rim.
Yes.
And if that shot was still on the way up, he had a lot of arch on it, didn't he?
Sure did.
So the Tigers will have the ball out of bounds. Side court, far side. Right at the hash mark. And James DeWitt will inbound it as the Tigers set up a play on the lane, and Phillips breaks out and goes around the wheel, and they drop it in to Phillips. He goes to the baseline, fires, good. David Phillips from about 8 feet. 19-16 as the Tigers lead by 3. As Eddie McKay with the ball for the Alumni, bringing it to the front court, gets it to Lee Walker in the front court. As Walker on the dribble with it, on the far side, fakes with it, starts it to the lane, goes down the lane, fires, good. We got a whistle and a foul. And that bucket will count. And the foul was called on. Who was the foul called on? 33? Is that on Phillips?
I really couldn't read the official's hand signal.
All right, Phillips called for the foul, and that puts Walker on the line. He could tie it up. He puts the free throw up good, and that does tie the game with 44 seconds to play in the first quarter, 19-19. As Jeff St. Clair gets the ball to James DeWitt. DeWitt goes down the far side, gets a block from Phillips, and fires out of the corner, no good. Did you see the block that Phillips put on? The rebound kicked outside to Edwards. Edwards into the front court. 3-on-2, fast break. Edwards travels with a behind-the-back pass. It's pretty, but he traveled. Flipped it over there pretty good, didn't he? Did you see the block that Phillips put on over there for that screen? He rattled somebody's teeth. DeWitt. And now we got a whistle and a foul on the inbounds play. I think that's Mark Edwards holding Jeff St. Clair. No, it's on 2-2. It's on Eddie McKay. And on Eddie, that's number 3 here in the first quarter. 19-19, we got a tie ball game, and that'll put Jeff St. Clair on the free throw line to shoot a 1-on-1. By the way, Tom says that this is his swan song as the alumni game. Tom St. Clair, we'll see him later against son Jeff. He said he really wasn't going to play, but Jeff needed one more lesson. Jeff fires the free throw good. He'll have a second one.
You know, that's Jeff's first free throw in 4 attempts on the season.
I told Tom that he wouldn't move too well on Jeff because Jeff knew all of his moves. So Jeff on the line for a second free throw, puts it up. It's in and out, no good. He got back iron, front iron, side iron, and it came out of there. Taylor rebounds for the Alumni. Gets it over to McKay. Eddie in the backcourt with it. St. Clair kicks it away, but McKay is able to recover. As McKay works it into the lane. Still on the dribble. Goes to the corner with it right side. Flips away outside to Mark Edwards. Edwards standing outside for the Alumni. Looks at the clock. We got 11 seconds. Starts it to the lane now. He will go for the shot. He'll fire from 17 feet. Puts it up short. No good. Rebound. Goes all the way back to Hobart Taylor. He fires it up from 20 feet off the iron. No good. David Phillips takes the rebound. Throws it to the length of the court at the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter of play, the Princeton Tigers 20, the Princeton Alumni 19, and we'll be back right after this. Let's see.
Well, I can help you out.
Okay, the Alumni puts in a new team now. They've got Bill Winfrey, Tom St. Clair, Gary Meadows,
Gino Hobson.
All right, now number 10 is Gino Austin, and Meadows is what number? Number 22. Gary Meadows. That's the same thing that McKay was wearing a while ago.
Of course, they've got so many players dressed that they almost have to.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say, I'll go along with it, Bob. I would not dispute or argue with you for anything in the world. Sometimes I have to state the facts to you and you don't accept them, but other than that, that's the way it is. Is that right, Charlie?
That's right. How would Charlie know now?
Now, we'll get him later. Bob's been running out all the time. Yeah, let me see him just real quick. In that first quarter, Miller with 4 field goals and 3 rebounds. 2 field goals, 4 points. Okay, 2 for 4 and 3 rebounds. DeWitt, 3 out of 5 for 6 points with 2 rebounds. And DeWitt with 3 assists and 4 blocked shots. How about that? As Mike Eads with 5 points, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. St. Clair with 3 points. And Phillips with 2 points. Very good, Jack. Thank you. Okay. Tigers come out with St. Clair, Eads, Miller, Murray, and DeWitt. And by the way, we remember Jimmy Miller telling us we're supposed to say hello to Mrs. Freddie Hedges in from Columbus, Ohio. I'm visiting Jim for the holidays. Brought him Santa Claus, I believe. And we'll have Jim in the jump against Bill Winfrey. And the tip control by the Tigers as he tips in the backcourt to Stephon as Murray holds it up, looks for help, gets it from Eads. As Eads moves in the front court, working on Hofston. Now he gives it over to St. Clair, and St. Clair goes in the front court working on Meadows. Back to Eads. Eads comes around the top of the key, looking at the bucket. He'll fire from 17 feet. Got it. More nothing but net. 22-19, Tigers up. As the Tigers will press, as the Alumni gets it to the front court to Winfrey. Gives it back to Halston. Halston goes to the lane with it. He fires from 14 feet, puts it up short. Rebound comes to the floor. Picked up by DeWitt in traffic. Knocked away by Tom St. Clair, and DeWitt outruns Tom for the ball. DeWitt picks it up, goes down, lays it up, got it. As DeWitt puts a circus move on, going under. 24-17 is Tom St. Clair with the ball in the backcourt for the Alumni. Looking for help, gets it from Meadows on the far side. Meadows now firing from 18 feet off the iron, and good. He got both sides of the iron and off the glass, and good. 24-21, Tigers up as St. Clair brings it to the front court for the Tigers. Still on the dribble with it. Moves it back out toward the key to Miller on the high post, looking underneath. Works on Winfrey, gives it to DeWitt. DeWitt firing from 12 feet off the iron, no good. Tipped up by Miller, no good. Tipped up by Murray, no good. Rebound comes to the floor as St. Clair Wrestling for it. DeWitt goes into the pile, fixes up, gives it to St. Clair, comes down the lane, throws it up, and no good. He is fouled by Winfrey, I believe. And Jeff St. Clair was hooking over top of Bill Winfrey. Bill Winfrey's what, 6'6"?
He's a good 6'6".
And Jeff's what, 5'8"? Hooking over top of him.
At the line, Jeff.
That could be dangerous to Jeff's health, couldn't it? Because what if Bill loses balance and falls on him? Jeff St. Clair on the line. He'll shoot 2 shots. 24-21, Tigers up. 6:45 left to go in the first half. As St. Clair fires good. 25-21. Tigers up by 4. As St. Clair on the line. He'll get one more chance at it. Jeff fires good. 26-21. 5-point advantage for the Tigers. They'll press. Gardner with the ball in the backcourt, and Stephon stripped him of the ball, and they call Gardner on the charge. As Stephon stripped him, and Pucci knocked Stephon down with the shoulder. You know what Pucci's first name is?
Alvin Gardner.
Alvin, that's right. I had him stumped, Charlie, until you jumped in there, see?
Okay.
Jeff St. Clair with the ball for the Tigers. To the right side of the width. James holds it overhead, looking underneath, waiting for the wheel to work. Now he gets Miller loose on the baseline. Works on Gardner, fires over top of him, got it. Jim Miller. 28-21. Tigers up by 7 as Meadows gets it to St. Clair in the front court. St. Clair works on Miller. And trying to get across court. Ball tipped away, picked up, knocked out of bounds off the Tigers. It'll be Alumni ball as DeWitt and Meadows tangled up out front. And St. Clair will inbound it for the Alumni. It's Tom St. Clair. As Tom gets it in the back court to Gary Meadows. As Meadows brings it to the front court for the Alumni. Gets a pick from Austin, and we got a whistle on the far side. As one of the Tigers reached in and slapped the ball out of bounds. It'll be Alumni ball in the front court, far side. As Meadows will inbound it, gets it into St. Clair in the corner. As Tom works the baseline. Now he's firing. Off the iron, no good. Tom follows the shot, picks it up, goes into the lane, throws it back up over his head, got the foul from somebody.
I believe it's going to be on Stephon. No, it's on James DeWitt.
James DeWitt is DeWitt going for block number 5. Tom put the ball up both hands in front of him like a scoop shot, you know. So is it true, Bob, that when you played basketball, they shot free throws that way with both hands underhand lift up?
Well, no, but Tom St. Clair and I went to school together, so that might tell you something.
Tom St. Clair shooting a jump shot for the free throw, hits it. And he'll have one more. 28-21. Tigers up. Go ahead.
One of the things that you don't think about is like Tom St. Clair is Dr. Tom St. Clair, a dentist, a dental surgeon, I believe. Then we have Kevin Martin or
Bill Winfrey, a
lawyer here in town. So some of these alumni have done very well for themselves in the years since they graduated.
As we got a whistle on the foul on the floor, and a foul call on, who's it called on, Jim?
Jeff St. Clair, blue.
That's on Jim Miller, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Foul called by Miller is second.
That's number 2 on Jim, and that put Gary Meadows on the free throw line. As Meadows will shoot a 1-on-1. He puts it up, it's good. He'll have a second attempt. 28-24, the Tigers up with 5:57 left to play in the first half. As Meadows fires again, it's good. As DeWitt with the ball for the Tigers brings it up the left side and into the front court. To Eads in the corner, fakes the shot, we got a traveling call. As Eads faked the shot and then he saw he had the drive open, and as he started to drive, he was called for the travel. As Meadows inbounds it to St. Clair in the backcourt. Tom on the dribble with it. DeWitt playing a man-to-man face up, just following him in the front court. As DeWitt moves around the pick by Winfrey. St. Clair firing from 23 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Miller. Works on Gardner. We got a foul in the backcourt. And that's called on Gardner. And that will put Miller on the free throw line. We get Phillips off the bench for the Tigers to come back in. As Jimmy Miller on the free throw line for the Tigers, he'll shoot a 1-on-1. 28-25, Tigers up. Jim fires, it's good. He'll have a second attempt.
At the line,
5:35 left to play in the first half. As Jim fires again, it's good. As the Alumni bring it in to Halston goes to the front court to the lane, firing out of the lane, no good. Miller rebounds, kicks it out to Phillips, to Eads in the center, and we've got a whistle and a double dribble call as Eads lost control of it, and I think the ball may have been tipped away, and well, the official called it for a double dribble, so that's what it is, I guess. 30-25. Tigers leading by 5 with 5:26 to play in the first half. As Halston works it to the front court for the Alumni. Gets it to Meadows in the corner. Works the baseline. Puts the shot up off the iron. No good. Rebound pulled down by Eads. Eads got a piece of a block on that shot. As Eads comes to the front court. Lays it over to DeWitt. He puts the shot up over his head. Comes off no good. Tipped up by St. Clair. Good. Jeff St. Clair. 32-25. As Phillips intercepts the in-court pass, gets it over to Eads. Eads into the front court where it goes to the top of the key. Works around Halston. Fires off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Halston. As Halston then trafficking the backcourt, St. Clair takes it away. Miller and St. Clair wrestling for it. Eads picks it up, taken away by Tom St. Clair, the Alumni. As the Alumni control Winfrey with the ball. Gets it to Halston. Halston on the far side into the front court on the dribble with it. Gives it to Gardner. Firing from 20 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Miller. Kicks it out to DeWitt. DeWitt slows it up, gets to the front court and holds it up. Gets it over to Jeff St. Clair. As Jeff looks underneath quickly, now puts it on the dribble. They give it to Miller, high post. Jim looks at the bucket, works on Winfrey, goes into the lane, fires around him, no good. Little contact there. As St. Clair rebounds for the Alumni, leads it out to Meadows. Meadows runs it down in the back court, can't control it, throws it back inbounds, the ball knocked out of bounds. We got a collision over between Halston and Miller. And one of them hit the bleachers, I think it was Halston, and then Miller hit on top of him or screwed him into the bleachers.
Down here on that play just a minute ago, St. Clair didn't know that it was Jimmy Miller who wanted the ball, and of course Jeff was hanging on to it for dear life.
Miller picking both of them, huh? As St. Clair brings it to the front court for the Tigers. To DeWitt on the right side. As DeWitt holds it high overhead, looks underneath, he gets Eads on the baseline. Mike firing a fadeaway, good. Mike Eads, 8 feet right side, puts it home. 34-25, Tigers up by 9. As Halston into the front court, fires a left-hand shot from 20 feet, no good. Ball slapped around, picked off the board by Miller. Gets it out to Eads. Eads on the move with it to St. Clair into the front court, works it around Meadows with a behind-the-back dribble to Phillips in the corner, firing from 12 feet, good. David Phillips, 12 feet out, puts it in. 36-25 as the Tigers open up 11-point bulge. 3:35 to play in the first half. Of Gardner comes to the front court, challenges Miller, charges into him. We got a traveling call. And we got a blue timeout. So with timeout on the floor, we've got the Tigers 36, the Alumni 25. We'll be back right after this.
We're back at Princeton High School, and Charlie Wright, I believe you have some shooting percentages for the Alumni.
Okay, here for Alumni. The first quarter they was 7-24 from the field, and now they're 8 from 33, so they're having a very cold night.
25%.
25%.
And 8 for how many?
8 for 33. They're putting the ball up, but it's not going in.
Well, these Alumni guys, they kind of hold, they shove, they step on, charge. They don't worry too much about the fouls. Some of these guys play basketball in their football experience.
Yeah, they've had about 12 turnovers here, too. So that doesn't help play at all.
And John Lecco, one of the coaches in the Alumni, mopping the floor down here. And I think John's going to be in action later on. He and Skip are sharing some of the coaching duties, Skip Ball. The Tigers will have the ball out of bounds in the backcourt as DeWitt inbounds it to St. Clair. Jeff moves it to the front court to the right side as Meadows picks him up. Jeff St. Clair on the dribble with it out front. Gives it to DeWitt on the wing left side. As DeWitt looking for the wheel to operate. Now he'll fire from 20 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Halston of the Alumni. As Halston on the dribble with it, brings it to the front court to Meadows on the left side. He'll fire from 18 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound to Halston. Firing off the baseline, no good. Rebound to Phillips, out to St. Clair. St. Clair on the move with it. Goes down, works on it, and he is fouled by Gardner. As Gardner didn't figure any way to catch him for this penalty. That's number 3 on Pucci. And, of course, they're in the bonus situation, but Jeff will be on the line to shoot 2. As I think Dreamer and Melissa both got to go to sleep over here, Charlie.
It looks like it does.
Yeah, they really do. You reckon that they didn't get any sleep last night, or?
Yeah, they've been pretty busy the last few days.
Jeff St. Clair on the free throw hits it. He'll have a second one.
Jeff St. Clair.
St. Clair ready to fire. He puts it up. It's good. As the Alumni comes back with a long pass into the front court with it is Halston. It works on St. Clair, and St. Clair knocked the ball out of bounds, so it'll be Alumni ball. As getting off the bench for the Tigers will be Curtis Graham, and coming into the ball game.
Now for the Tigers, number 14, senior Curtis Graham.
As the inbounds pass comes into Meadows out of the corner, firing from deep in the corner, good, from 22 feet. Gary Meadows hits it. 38-27. The Tigers are leading by 11 with 2:48 to play in the first half. As Graham into the front court where they're trying to get it to Phillips, and the pass comes and is knocked out of bounds, so it'll be Alumni ball in the backcourt. As the in-court pass into the front court to Gary Meadows. Meadows goes around down the lane, gives it over to Winfrey, puts it up and in. Bill Winfrey with his first points of the night. 38-29. Tigers lead by 9. As Curtis Graham on the dribble with it in the backcourt for the Tigers. Moves it to the front court. Works on Meadows. Starts it down the left side to the Witt in the corner. As James works to the lane, goes under, lays it up. It's good, and we got a foul on Tom St. Clair, I believe. They say that it is good. And the foul is on Tom St. Clair, number 55. That's Tom's first.
The goal is good by James DeWitt. The foul on Tom St. Clair.
James DeWitt will be on the free throw line to shoot one. 40-29. Tigers lead as DeWitt hits his free throw. 41-29. As the inbounds pass loose into the front court for the Alumni and out of bounds, it'll be Tiger ball in the backcourt. As DeWitt will inbound it, he kicks it inbounds to Graham as Curtis puts it on the dribble and will bring it to the front court. We got 2:13 to play in the first half. Tigers lead 41-29. As DeWitt with the ball on the wing, on the right side, looking underneath. Now he's got Eads on the high post. Eads works the pivot, fires. Good. Mike Eads on a spinning jump shot out of the high post. And the pass for the Alumni into the front court. Halston takes it, goes down the lane, puts it up. We got a whistle and a foul. And the foul is on Gino Halston. And he fouled after the shot, so it'll be a shooting foul. As Halston driving on Mike Eads, and Eads going with him, and Halston put the shot up and then continued to travel and run into Mike Eads, and so the foul was on Gino Halston. And that'll put Mike Eads on the free throw line. We got some special people coming up at halftime for you people to listen to now. Some of these alumni from way back when, and some from not so way back when. I don't think we got anybody as old as Graham, but other than that, we're all right.
Well, you have one of my neighbors,
Is that right?
1930 in there.
Is that Mr. Chambers, your neighbor?
Yes, he is.
Good. 43-29, the Tigers are on top. Mike Eads on the free throw line. As Eads fires, it's good. Hey, Jack, Charlie, tell Mike come over here. Tell Craig come over on this side of me over here. As Eads will fire once more. 44-29. Good. 45-29. Tigers on top with 1:56 to play in the first half. As St. Clair with the ball for the Alumni. Gets it to Gardner. Pooch comes to the front court with it. Starts it to the right side. Comes back to the lane. Firing out of the lane. No good. Rebound to DeWitt. In traffic. They double team him. He gets it out to Phillips. As David into the front court with it. On the dribble. Goes down the lane. Lays it up. Comes off the iron. No good. Tipped up by Miller. No good. Rebound pulled off by Halston of the Alumni. Gets it to Meadows in the front court. He'll fire from 20 feet left side off the flange. No good. Rebound to Eads of the Tigers. Out to Curtis Graham. Graham into the front court. He's got help. He leaves it for DeWitt. DeWitt goes under. Drops it back out for Phillips, and they throw it away. As the Alumni picks it up, they've got Meadows on the break. And Miller blocks the shot out of the air. Rebound taken down by Curtis Graham. As Graham into the front court for the Tigers. Starts it to the lane. Drops it underneath to DeWitt. He'll fire off the baseline. Good. 47-29 as the Tigers playing transition basketball. 1:06 to play in the first half. As Halston works it to the front court for the Alumni. He'll fire from the free throw line. It's partially blocked by Eads. And Miller takes it out of the air, gets it out to Graham, and Curtis is fouled into the backcourt. And that foul called on, who's it on?
Gary Meadows.
On Gary Meadows. That's number 1 on Meadows, and about 3 dozen on the team, somewhere along that line for the Alumni. Score is 47-29 with 56 seconds left to play in the first half. As the Tigers will have the Curtis Graham shooting the free throw. As Graham fires, it is no good. Rebound comes off to Miller in the lane, puts it on the glass and got it.
Jimmy Miller.
As Gardner inbounds it, and we got a whistle. And what did they call?
I'm not sure.
Step inbounds in there.
Alabama.
Okay, he threw it out of bounds on the far side. So the Tigers inbound it. Curtis Graham with the ball, bringing it to the front court. Top of the key with it to the right side to Mike Eads. Eads will fire as he works his way clear, firing from 20 feet, no good. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Phillips, out to Graham as Curtis comes out of traffic, drops it underneath to Eads, puts it on the glass, no good. Rebound picked down by DeWitt. Eads put it up in the end. James DeWitt, 51-29 with 30 seconds to play. As Halston into the front court, behind the back dribble, puts a shot up and in. As Miller up to get a block, didn't get there in time. 51-31. Tigers on top. As Curtis Graham into the front court with it. Gives it to Miller. Jimmy holds it high overhead, and he'll fire. It's good. And it's Miller from 17 feet puts it in. 53-31 with 7 seconds to play in the first half. As Bill Winfrey with the ball for the Alumni. Gets it to Tom St. Clair. St. Clair timed by Miller, and that's the end of the first half. So at the end of the first half, the score, if I can find my pen, is the Princeton Tigers 53 and the Princeton Alumni 31. And we'll be back with halftime festivities and special gifts right after this message.
Back in the Princeton High School gymnasium, halftime is underway. The score standing, the Princeton Tigers 53 and the Tiger Alumni 31. A 22-point differential on the scoreboard. And Charlie Wright, what's it look like on the stat sheet there?
Okay, here for the Alumni, the first half, they were shooting from the field 11 to 42. They're putting the ball up and not making too many shots. They pulled down 21 rebounds, and they committed 15 turnovers. And I have some individual turnovers here for Princeton. Jimmy Miller has committed 1, Mike Eads 4, Jeff St. Clair 2, Stephon Murray 1, James DeWitt 3, David Phillips 2, and Curtis Graham 1.
Alrighty, we got Jack Allaire and Bob Graham working on some other stat sheets for us, and Glenn Mays up top talking with some of our halftime guests, and we'll be talking with them on the air in just a little bit, so we invite you to stick around, alrighty? We'll be back at the Princeton High School Gymnasium with more of tonight's halftime show right after this.
Princeton High School, in terms of individual statistics in the first half, we show Mike Eads with 13 points, 4 field goals, 5 for 5 at the foul line, 13 points. Jeff St. Clair, 2 field goals, 5 for 8 at the foul line, 9 points. James DeWitt, 7 field goals, 1 for 1 at the line, 15 points. Stephon Murray did not score in the first half. Jimmy Miller had 5 field goals, 2 of 2 at the foul line, 12 points. David Phillips came in from the bench, had 2 field goals for 4 points. Curtis Graham missed his only free throw opportunity and no points for the Alumni.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lee Walker came in, had 2 field goals, 1 for 1 at the foul line, 5 points. Mark Edwards was 1 of 3 at the foul line, 1 point. Kevin Martin had 2 field goals for 4 points. Hobart Taylor had 4 field goals, was 1 of 2 at the foul line, 9 points. Bill Winfrey had 1 field goal for 2 points. Gary Meadows had 2 field goals, 1 of 2 at the foul line, 5 points. Tom St. Clair was 1 of 1 at the foul line for 1 point. And Gino Hobson had 1 field goal for 2 points, giving the Alumni 13 field goals, 5 for 9 at the foul line, and a total of 31 points in the first half of this ball game. And
alrighty, okay, I believe Glenn Mays alongside, and he's going to be talking with some very lovely halftime guests. Okay.
Standing up on the balcony in behind the broadcast position, we've got some special people up here that's involved with this Tiger Alumni, and our first guest is
L.W. Chambers, better known as Budge, B-U-D-G-E.
And Mr. Chambers, what year were you at Princeton Tiger?
Cheerleader?
Or participant, I think you probably played sports.
30, 31, and 32.
And you've been a lifelong resident of Princeton?
That's right.
And I'm sure you're married to one of these nice Princeton girls?
I'm married to Lillian Spangler, D.C. Spangler's daughter.
And I guess you've got some people sprung all around Princeton here.
All around.
How do you feel about coming back to the high school?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see this group participate.
Of course, the Tiger basketball team this year we think is kind of special.
They're wonderful. They're outstanding.
And, of course, we got a lot of people here that with the alumni group, and they kind of like to see some of the older people, older grads. And I'm not speaking to old. I'm just talking about the kids that are older than the ones that are playing right now for the high school, coming back to play basketball. It kind of does good to see how some of us have changed.
It's tremendous to see them come back and participate at this time of the year. It's just like Christmas all over, and just like coming back to high school and starting all over to see what's really happening in your ball clubs.
Have you noticed that when you meet people you went to school with, how much they've changed while you haven't changed at all?
Well, you think you haven't changed, but they have.
That's right. They're the ones that
Yeah, that's right. But you have.
Oh, no. Couldn't be. But Mr. Chambers, thanks for visiting with us.
Pleasure. Pleasure indeed to be out here.
And we're going to move over to our next guest, Ann.
Beth Reed.
Hi, Beth.
How are you?
And Beth's an old friend of mine from out Princeton Community Hospital.
That's right.
Beth, can I ask you what year you graduated from Princeton?
Graduated in 1969.
69. And you were a Tiger cheerleader.
Yes, for 2 years.
I saw you down there, and I'm sure that the Tiger cheerleader uniform would fit.
I kind of doubt it. The length wouldn't fit, that's for sure. Our senior year was the first year the uniform lengths were changed. They were 2 inches above our knee, and that was measured by the principal at that time. And they've completely changed since.
Well, they have, haven't they?
There's no way I'd wear one that short.
How many of these people on the alumni team do you recognize out here?
Just about all of them. There were 3 that I did not know.
Some of them have changed a little bit, too.
Yes, quite a bit.
And some of their uniforms are a little snugger than they used to be.
Yeah, they are.
We're not going to talk about any names or anything, but some of them, the numbers are kind of stretched out of proportion.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a fat 12 or whatever?
I have now.
Beth, what kind of work you do at the hospital?
I'm an X-ray technologist at Princeton Community.
They keep you busy.
Oh, yes.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it.
Well, good. And of course, I've seen you at several basketball games. You're a kind of a sports nut, aren't you?
I am. I still follow through. I have nieces that are, one of my nieces, alumni cheerleader here tonight, and others coming up, and nephews, so I'm still in touch with them.
Let's name those.
Kim Reed is here tonight. She's my niece.
I know Kim.
Kim Reed is my nephew, and he played on the football team this year.
Okay, Beth, thanks for visiting.
Thank you.
As we move on to our next guest, and see if we can get a response out of her. And you?
Julie Stafford Crouch.
And Julie, you're going to speak a little louder than that.
Okay.
We got a lot of background noise.
Julie Stafford Crouch.
And Julie, you were a mascot year before last?
79.
And so you came back to appear as a mascot for the alumni.
Right.
And you recognize a lot of these. Of course, you're 79. That was
2 years.
2 years.
That was the state championship team.
Okay. You were part of the championship basketball team.
Yes.
And, of course, Eddie McKay is here tonight from that team, also Lee Walker.
Okay.
And is there any others?
No, I don't believe.
And Julie, by using the 3 names you're married, do you want to tell us who your husband is and was?
And Vernon Crouch.
And he's from Princeton?
Yes.
And are you employed or are you going to school or what?
Graduate of Little French and employed at Princeton A-Mart.
I'm not sure I heard all that. You are employed somewhere now?
Yeah, at Princeton A-Mart.
At Princeton A-Mart, okay, I didn't hear it. Hey, Dreamer works over at A-Mart.
Yeah.
Charlie Wright's wife. And Charlie helped us on the broadcast. And you all have all those good bargains over there.
Yeah.
Okay. As Craig puts a bug in my ear and tells me we're getting a little bad pickup, so we'll pick it up a little better. And Julie, as a graduate of 1979, the Tiger alumni look pretty good to you?
Yeah, they look pretty good.
The varsity look pretty good?
Yeah, let's hope they go upstate this year.
You still follow the varsity, huh?
Oh, yes.
Okay, Julie, it's good to see you. Good to visit with us. And we'll move over to this other little young lady. And this little young lady I recognize. I've seen her lost in snowbanks up in Greenbrier County.
Yeah, Terri Graham.
And Terri, you're a senior this year?
Yes, sir.
And I think captain of the cheerleaders, huh?
Co-captain.
Co-captain, excuse me. Terri, as a senior, what do you have planned for next year?
Concord, probably.
And would you like to stay active as cheerleading, or are you thinking it'd be too time-consuming?
I'd like to go on and try for Concord College cheerleading.
The football season got kind of cold on us, didn't it?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Did you get wet over at Greenbrier?
Soaked.
And cold.
And cold.
Parkersburg was just cold.
Oh, Parkersburg was terrible.
Besides that, you had a long ride home.
On a bus.
Terri, what do you think about the Tigers' chances here? They look pretty good, don't they?
Oh, we're going to go all the way this year. Oh, yeah.
As we heard it from Terri's co-horse. Terri, thanks for visiting with us. We'll be talking with you again later on the season, I'm sure. And we've got another one here, and we'll get her identification.
Cindy Repass.
And Cindy, you're up here because of a special reason?
Yeah.
You want to tell us what that is?
I'm captain of the JV cheerleaders.
I think the buzzer drowned you out. Let's have that again.
Captain of the JV cheerleaders.
So see, we worked from all the way back 1930 all the way down to, what year will you graduate?
Oh, Lord, I don't know.
What year school are you now?
Now you don't know about the 83. I don't know about that day.
83 if all goes well, huh?
Yeah.
You think the Tigers are going upstate?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Judy, thank you for visiting with us.
Yeah.
Okay, as we turn this thing back down to Crago.
All righty. Teams are about ready to come back out on the floor for the second half of action, and we're trying to get things back into a position again. And while we're doing that, let's take time in for this.
Good job. For the alumni, number 40, come back. You might have checked in the stands. Number 24, Jackie Karate. Number 22, and number 14, David Atkins. The third quarter 5 for the alumni.
Okay, Glenn, individual scoring. Jimmy Miller had 12 points in the first half. James DeWitt was high point man with 15. Mike Eads had 13. Jeff St. Clair had 9. Balanced scoring. Not much more you could ask for.
All right, we're ready for basketball, second half style now as the Alumni come out with Eugene Caldwell. And number 14 over there is, somebody give me some help.
Atkins. David Atkins.
It's David Atkins. And who's in the backcourt?
Looks like Ernie Gillard.
Ernie Gillard's out there.
Terry Smith. Jackie Crotty.
All right, as the tip controlled by the Tigers as Jack Crotty, check as the Alumni picks it up. Jack Crotty picks it up for the Alumni and works it to the front court as St. Clair plays the defense on him. He gets it over into the corner, and I lost the guy's name on number 20.
It's Terry Smith.
Terry Smith. As Smith lays it underneath to Caldwell, fires off the glass, no good. Rebound comes down to Miller as Jim clears it out, gets it out to DeWitt. DeWitt into the front court with it. On the move, gives it back outside to St. Clair. St. Clair on the dribble with it out front. Gives it to the left side of DeWitt, goes to the baseline, fires from 12 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by the Alumni, bringing it down. For the Alumni, with Terry Smith, gets it to the front court, shot goes up, no good. Rebound comes off the Tigers as Eads with it, bringing it to the front court. Waits for traffic to clear, still on the dribble, and holds it up, now gives it to St. Clair. Jeff, top of the key with it. Looks down to the right side, gives it back to Eads. Eads holds it up on the wing, gives it back up to St. Clair, top of the key, drops it to Miller on the post in the lane. Fires off the glass, no good. Rebound, kicked around, picked up by DeWitt, puts it up and in. James DeWitt puts it in. As the Alumni comes to the front court. As Smith dribbling with the ball. Terry Smith on the left side gives it back outside to Crotty. As Crotty gives it to Gillard. Gillard starts it toward the lane, and we've got a whistle and a double dribble as he was getting it underneath to David Atkins, and Atkins lost the handle on it. As the Tigers come to the offense now, we've got St. Clair on the dribble. The Eads on the left side. Fires from 18 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Gillard in traffic. Check it, pulled down by Smith in traffic. Gets it out to Gillard. Gillard into the front court with it. Gives it back to Atkins, to Smith. He's firing from outside off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Murray of the Tigers. As Stefan in traffic with it. Holds it up, gives it to Miller. Miller gets it to St. Clair, and Jeff will move it to the front court for the Tigers. Comes to the top of the key. Drops it underneath to Murray. As Stefan has the shot blocked. As the shot was blocked by Terry Smith of the Alumni, and we'll have Murray and Smith to jump. As they'll jump it in the Tiger free throw circle. As the toss is up, and it's controlled by Murray. Kicks it outside to Eads. Eads gives it to St. Clair. Back to Eads on the left side wing position. Gives it back to St. Clair, top of the key. To Murray. He's on the right side. To Miller on the low post, firing off the baseline. We got a foul on Eugene Caldwell. And that will put Jim Miller on the free throw line for the Tigers.
Eugene Caldwell is first.
Inbound it, and Eads brings it into St. Clair, and Jeff moves it to the front court. They call for play number 2 and start it to the left side. Now they go to Stefan on the baseline, right side, fakes, fires, good. Stefan from 10 feet. It's nothing but net. 67-35. As Terry Smith into the front court with it for the Alumni. On the dribble. Comes across the top of the key. He'll fire from 20 feet. It's over the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by David Adkins. Adkins holds it, gives it outside to Smith, starts it to the lane. He'll fire out of the corner. It's no good, and he is fouled by Stefan, I believe. And of course, we've got 5 players for the Alumni yet we haven't seen, as they've run 5 different players each quarter. And Bob Graham said that's the greatest way to do it because he can keep everything like that.
Well, not only, I think it's certainly a compliment to Princeton High School that you have this the alumni willing to play out here and be involved. And you have some real good players out there tonight.
Right here at 7 o'clock.
As we're waiting on the Tigers to get lined up, we'll have Terry Smith on the free throw line for the Alumni. 67-35 as Terry fires. It is no good. He'll have one more attempt. As Terry fires, it's good. 67-36 as Miller inbounds it to DeWitt. And James brings it up the far side. Down the right side on the skip. Gives it back outside to St. Clair to Eads, top of the key. Drops it underneath to Murray. Murray loses the handle on it, picks it up, gives it back outside to Mike Eads. Goes across the lane, fires off the glass, no good. Rebound. Pulled down by Caldwell as Eugene Caldwell pulls it down. And Gene on the dribble with it to the front court for the Alumni. Gets it to Terry Smith. They go to Ernie Gillard with it in the corner. Ernie looks at the bucket. Now he starts to back his way in on DeWitt. Gets the shot, gets the pass underneath to Caldwell, and Caldwell puts it up and in. Gene Caldwell. 67-38. Tigers up with 1:17 to play in the third quarter, and the Tigers want a timeout. So with 1:15 to play in the third quarter, Princeton 67, the Alumni 38. We'll be back right after this. We got Jack Allaire down here on the stat sheet. What do we got, Jack? What's it look like?
Well, it appears that the first string is finished for the evening. They're pulling them out, putting in second string. So far, Jimmy Miller has 18 points. James DeWitt has 19 points to lead the Tigers thus far in this evening's competition. Back to you, Glenn.
All right, the Tigers inbound it. As Curtis Graham with the ball. Moves it to the front court, backs his way in on Crotty. Gives it to Joseph Harrison. Harrison on the far side with it, quarter court. Comes to the lane, goes down the lane, puts a shot up off the glass, no good. Rebound, hits the floor, picked up by David Phillips. Phillips fires off the baseline, good. David Phillips hits it for the Tigers as Terry Smith brings it back to the front court for the Alumni. Goes into the lane, fires, no good. Rebound pulled down by Phillips. Gets it outside to Curtis Graham as Graham moves it to the front court. Goes underneath to Scooter Gwill as Gwill leaves it for Phillips. Phillips in the lane with it. Gets the ball caught on his hip. Gives it back to Gwill. Scooter firing off the side. No good. Rebound. Comes down underneath as Ernie Gillard controls for the Alumni. Into the front court. Behind the back dribble. Goes through heavy traffic. Trying to get it to Atkins. Throws it out of bounds. And it's off on one of the Tigers. Is what I'm tipped it. For the Tigers right now, we got Jeff Atkins in there. Curtis Graham. And David Phillips. Joseph Harrison. And Scooter Gwill. As Crotty firing out of the corner, good for the Alumni. Jack Crotty from 22 feet, pounded in. 69-40, the Tigers up. As Curtis Graham will bring it to the front court for the Tigers. Working on Crotty. He gets it on the high post to Adams. Adams holds it overhead, gives it to Harrison. Comes across the lane, firing from the lane, no good. Rebound pulled down by the Alumni. As coming out with it is Terry Smith. Into the front court to Gillard. Gillard works on Harrison. Fires over top of him at the buzzer, and it's no good. So at the end of the third quarter of play, the Princeton Tigers 69 and the Alumni 40. We'll be back right after this.
That means he's not going to play Jimmy them anymore tonight.
All right, Bob, we're back.
We're back with the score 69-40, Princeton leading, with the second team apparently going to start the fourth quarter, consisting of Jeff Adams, David Phillips, Scooter Gwill, Postgame and Joseph Harrison. For the Alumni, you have Lee Walker, Bill Winfrey, Lego, Tommy Wyrick, and Skip Ball. Is that right? Is his last name Ball?
He's the bearded one, isn't he?
He's the old man of the mountain out there right now.
Yeah. And Lee Walker moves in to jump, and he'll jump against Jeff Adams. As he tosses up and controlled by the Alumni as Winfrey runs it down on the far side. He gets it to the ball with Skip on the dribble with it in the back court, moves it to the front court, backs his way around Graham, starts it down the right side. Goes to the baseline, gives it to Walker. Walker in the corner with it. Comes back out of trouble, goes to the lane, fires, off the iron, no good. Walker picks it up, puts it back up and in. Lee Walker for the Alumni. 69-42. As Scooter Gwill takes it down the far side. By the way, his name is Darrell. Darrell gives it outside to Graham and Curtis on the dribble with it. Moves it to the left side to Harrison. Harrison on the wing as Joseph looks underneath. Now he gets it underneath to Phillips. To the far side to Adams. Goes under, puts it up and in. He is fouled by Winfrey. As Jeff Adams hit it. And that foul was on Bill Winfrey. And on Bill, that is foul number 2.
And I don't believe we're in the fourth quarter and only have 2 and 3 fouls respectively on these two teams.
As Adams misses a free throw. Rebound taken out by Winfrey, the Alumni. Gets it out to Walker. Lee into the front court, working on Phillips. Goes to the key with it. Jumps, fires from 16 feet. Good. Lee Walker hits it for the Alumni. 71-44. As Will brings it back to the offense for the Tigers. Gets it outside to Graham. Graham on the move with it against the zone defense by the Alumni. To Harrison, firing from the top of the key, no good. Rebound pulled down by Walker. Knocked around and out of bounds by the Tigers. And it'll be out of bounds to the Alumni. As Lecco will inbound it, and David Phillips trying to steal the pass, knocks it out of bounds. So it'll be back to the Alumni again. As John Lecco inbounds it to Lee Walker. Walker into the back court. Moves it toward the front court now as Phillips plays some defense on him. Walker moves it around, comes down the lane, firing from the lane. In and out, no good. Rebound fought for. And we got a foul on David. No, it's out of bounds off of Phillips. No foul. No, out of bounds off of Winfrey. So it's into the Tigers as Will inbounds it to Graham. Graham will move it to the front court for the Tigers. Top of the key with it to Will on the wing, right side. Holds it high overhead, gives it back outside to Graham. To Adams on the near side, looking underneath, can't get Phillips open. They give it back to Graham. They go to Harrison on the far side wing. As Joseph puts it on the floor on the dribble, gives it back outside to Graham. As they come back around to Will on the near side. As Graham dribbling across top of the key to Adams, goes to the corner to the baseline, fires off the baseline, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds off the Alumni. It'll be Tiger ball.
You know, Glenn, we have them, 2/3 the way full? Jim here tonight?
Oh, better than half. As Curtis Graham firing for the Tigers. Rebound kicked around, finally controlled by Gwill. As Scooter firing from 14 feet, got it. Scooter Gwill hits it for the Tigers. 73-44. As Skip Ball brings it to the front court for the Alumni. Turns around, backs his way around. Curtis Graham goes to the lane with it, drops underneath to Lecco. Lecco fakes, fires, no good. Put up by Winfrey, good. He is fouled by Adams, I believe.
Oh, by Bill Winfrey.
As Lecco wanted that one badly, but he was pulled it short, didn't he? The goal was good. And we'll have Winfrey to fire one, and Adams, that's foul number 1. Team foul number 3 on the Tigers. As Winfrey, free throw no good. Rebound fought for between Adams and Phillips, and now we got traveling calls. Adams and Phillips didn't know each other was there. And, of course, you know, when you got all 4 of them there, if any one of the feet move, it's traveling, right?
That's right.
I mean, all 4 feet in there. You got that, didn't you? As the Alumni inbound it to Wyrick, firing from 20 feet, good. 73-48. As Curtis Graham brings it to the front court for the Tigers. On the dribble with it, taken away by Wyrick. Wyrick on the break into the front court as Graham goes back around him and takes it away. As Curtis Graham comes back to the front court with it. He's got Phillips on the left side. Gives it to Phillips, goes under, puts it up and in. David Phillips for the Tigers. 75-48. Skip Ball will bring it to the front court for the Alumni. As Skip with that right-hand dribble, gives it to Walker. Walker down the right side, goes toward the baseline, jumps, fires, no good. Rebound to Wyrick. Takes Gwill, fires, no good. We got a foul on Gwill. I think that's Gwill, or is that Graham? I think it's Gwill, isn't it? Yes, it is. Foul's on Gwill. And we'll have Wyrick on the line to shoot 2. Now we're going to get the varsity back in to get a sweat up for the shower. No, way to go, Bob. See, Bob's already totaled that sheet, Charlie. And now here comes the varsity back in.
Uh-oh. Is that about the best laid plans with mice and men?
Can't trust Ralph Ball, can you? He brings them back in. That's what it is, huh? There's Tommy Wyrick on the free throw line for the Tigers. And he'll shoot the first one. It's no good. Off the side of the iron, comes off the left side. And he'll have a second one.
I believe Jack had his all totaled up, too.
The second free throw is no good. Knocked out of bounds by the Alumni.
It wouldn't be any fun if it was predictable, would it?
As St. Clair brings it to the front court for the Tigers. Directs some traffic. And he gives it to Eads on the wing right side. To the Witt in the corner on the right side. Back to Eads on the wing, and they come back to St. Clair, top of the key. As they bring it to Murray on the left side. To Witt. For fire out of the corner left side. Good. James DeWitt from about 18 feet. Puts it in. 77-48. As Lee Walker into the front court with it. On the dribble. Goes to the top of the key. Fires off the iron. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Murray of the Tigers. Gets it out to Eads as Mike into the front court with it. On the dribble. Brings it to the key. Leaves it underneath to Miller. And we got traveling on Miller. Of course, if he hadn't been bumped, he's going to stuff that one, wasn't he?
I believe he was.
You could see him thinking about it. As the Alumni will have it out of bounds back court. We got 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Tigers lead 77-48. As the Tigers lose the ball out of bounds, or check it, the Alumni lose out of bounds, it'll be Tiger ball on the back court, on the baseline. As they bring it into St. Clair, Jeff brings it to the front court now. To the right side to Eads, to the Witt, to Miller. Miller works around Winfrey, and he hooked him with the elbow and wheeled around him. Winfrey said, he hooked me. And the referee said, you really think so? You pushed him. Did anybody see that hook besides me?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And on Winfrey, that's foul number 2. And team foul number 4 on the Alumni, but Miller will be on the line to shoot 2. No, they take him off the line. It'll be out of bounds to the Tigers. As the Witt will inbound it. As they bring it into Eads to St. Clair to the Witt. He's firing from the corner. It's good. 79-48. A skip ball with the ball in the back court. Brings it to the front court as St. Clair cuts him off. He gets it to Lecco on the far side. John leads it for Winfrey. Winfrey going under the bucket. They call him for traveling as the pass just a little too much lead on it. And Eddie McKay checks into the ball game for the Alumni. 79-48. Tigers lead. Jeff St. Clair will bring it to the front court for the Tigers. To Mike Eads on the right side. To the Witt. They drop it to Miller. He gets double teamed. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. Fires up and in. Good.
St. Clair.
81-48. Tigers leading. As Eddie McKay will bring it to the front court. He gets it to the ball in the lane. Firing. It's on the iron and good. A skip ball. Gets it down. 81-50. Tigers lead by 31. As Jeff brings it to the front court. To Eads. Eads will fire from 20 feet left side. He tickles the twines. 83-50. As Lee Walker takes it down the left side to Eddie McKay. As McKay firing from way outside. No good. Rebound to Stephon. As Murray fights his way out of traffic. And we got a traveling call. And they take it back up. It'll be Alumni ball on the baseline under their own bucket. Now watch this setup play, fellas. See how many of them go the same direction. As they set it up, then they kick it outside to Wyrick. Wyrick takes the shot, gives it to Walker, drives the baseline. Miller blocks the shot. Got a foul on Miller, I believe. And that's number 4 on Jim. Team foul number 5 on the Tigers. It'll put Lee Walker on the line to shoot 2, and so the Alumni want a timeout. So with 3:07 to play, the Princeton Tigers 83, the Princeton Alumni 50. We'll be back right after this. Oh, I see.
These two fellas over here, I don't know where they're from.
Where are they? Sitting down front. Let me
Mike
see.
said somebody from Radford. I don't know.
The fellow in the green suit is from Radford. He was up here a couple years ago. We're looking at some of the college scouts in the crowd here tonight. McPherson's here from WVU. Who's with McPherson over there?
Mr. McKay, eh?
Is that Mr. McKay?
He's sitting beside Mr. McKay, but in the row right in front of them is another scout, I feel sure. I believe it's the other West Virginia coach.
And, of course, a couple sitting over on the far side. We just got all kinds of celebrities here. As Lee Walker on the free throw line for the Alumni. Fires off the front of the iron, no good. He'll have a second attempt. 83-50, the Tigers leading. We got 3 minutes and 7 seconds left to play in the ball game. As Walker fires the second one, it's good. And we're going to get some people back into the ball game for the Alumni. Get your book out again. Hobart Taylor comes in. He's the only one that comes in.
Back into the game for the Alumni, Hobart Taylor.
Now, what's his name can't come back in there right now, Meadows, because McKay's in there. We can't have two guards at 22. As Jeff St. Clair brings it to the front court, to the left side to Eads, to the Witt, firing out of the corner. Good. James DeWitt knocks it home. As McKay brings it back to the front court, gives it to Taylor. Taylor fires no good. Check out was Wyrick, and the pass comes up court, knocked loose, picked up by McKay of the Alumni. As Eddie into the front court with it, and Miller kicks the ball away from Kevin Martin. It'll be out to the Alumni. As Wyrick will inbound it for the Alumni. And we got a timeout on the floor. So with 2:39 left to play in the ball game. The Tigers 85, the Alumni 51. We'll be back right after this.
That is Terri Holland from University of Virginia.
Yeah.
There's Terri Holland over there, UVA.
We're on the air. What are you looking for? The Witt got 25 points on the night. And what's the other name?
Noah's got 18.
18, okay. As, of course, Holland's here tonight rather than Littlepage in.
Right, and that speaks very highly of the efforts Virginia's putting into recruiting.
You know what I told you?
No, I never repeat this thing.
All right, Jack Crotty will inbound it for the Alumni, and he gets it into McKay as Eddie on the dribble with it. Looking to the far side, gives it back to Meadows, and we got another guy in there now with 22. We got two guards in there, 22. McKay goes underneath with it, and Eads comes out of the crowd with the ball. Behind the back pass, intercepted by Crotty. Gets and he gets it. That's foul number 3 on Eads. They called Eads for the foul. As Gary Meadows with number 22 and Eads going after the foul. And now they're going to put McKay on the line to shoot.
At the line, Eddie McKay.
You know, those guys look a little bit alike, don't they?
They sure do.
As McKay hits the first of free throws, 85-52. The Tigers lead now. As McKay ready, fires again. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Murray. Gets it out to DeWitt. Has DeWitt into the front court with it. On the dribble, holds it up, looking for help. Try and get it to Murray. Has it knocked loose. Picked up by Meadows. Meadows into the front court with it. Goes under. Puts a shot up, no good. It's kicked outside. Picked up by St. Clair of the Tigers. To Eads. Eads to Miller. Miller on the baseline. Goes under, lays it up and in. As Miller gets his 20th point of the night. 87-52. Tigers leading now by 25. Check it, 35. They've blown it loose. Skip ball goes to the corner with it for the Alumni. Gives it back to Gary Meadows, shooting from 25 feet. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Stephon. Out to St. Clair. Trying to get it to Miller, taken by Eads as it's tipped loose. Shot put up, no good. Eads comes down with it, puts it back up and in. Mike Eads hits it for the Tigers. And we got a timeout for the Tigers as they unload the bench again. So with 1:34 to play, the Tigers 89, the Alumni 52. We'll be back right after this. As the inbound pass for the Alumni comes into Eddie McKay, as Eddie McKay works his way into the front court. Starts it down the right side as the Tigers in with a new team. Curtis Graham playing a defense. Now Will picks him up. They kick it back outside the Meadows to Crotty. As Jack holds it overhead, gives it back to Gary Meadows. And Meadows still holds it, gives it to McKay. McKay goes into the lane, and Graham runs over him from behind as McKay works it back outside. Looks like they're trying to eat the clock. A four-corner offense here. As Curtis Graham intercepted the ball and lost it out of bounds, but it came off one of the Alumni, so it belongs to the Tigers. 1:05 to play in the ball game. 89-52, Tigers on top. As Curtis Graham into the front court with it to Jeff Adams. Adams goes under, lays it up, no good. We got a whistle on a foul as Eddie McKay says, "Who, me?" And McKay chinned himself on Adams' arm as he went by. And that will put Jeff Adams on the free throw line for the Tigers. As Adams fires with the right hand, it is off the iron, no good. He hit the back iron, it came off the plan. 89-52. Tigers up, 57 seconds left to play. As Adams fires again, no good. Rebound taken by Crotty as Alumni is Jack on the dribble with it in the back court. Still on the move. Gets a two-skip ball into the front court and Skip on the left side with it. Finds Eddie McKay, top of the key, firing from 20 feet. Good. Eddie McKay.
Go, Eddie McKay.
89-54. Tigers up with 42 seconds to play as Curtis Graham has the pass knocked loose, intended for Gwill, knocked loose by Crotty and out of bounds. So David Phillips will inbound it for the Tigers as he gets it into Graham. Curtis on the dribble with it in the back court, brings it to the front court, to the far side to Gwill, goes to the baseline, fires off the iron, no good. Rebound, slaps around, we got a whistle and a foul. And it may be on Phillips going over the top.
I believe it was on Jeff Adams.
It was on Jeff Adams on the push. That's number 2 on Jeff. 30 seconds left to play as some of the crowd starts to work their way out of the gymnasium here. Now next Friday and Saturday night, boys, that's when the barn gets set afire.
It sure is, and it's also when if you want to seat this place, you better come early because I fully expect the biggest crowd to see basketball in this area.
Better come early and plan to stay late because once you get parked, you ain't getting out either. As the free throw was no good, as Graham comes up with it for the Tigers, gets it to Adams. Adams into the front court, gets it to Phillips, goes to the baseline, fires off the iron, no good. Rebound the ball. Skip gets it into the front court, trying to get it to Meadows. He overthrows it out of bounds. It'll be Tiger ball with 12 seconds on the clock. As Gwill will inbound it, and he gets it into Graham. As Graham into the backcourt with it. And a double team into the front court, and hit him off, and we have a foul called out there. And the foul is called on number 12. Who is that?
Skip ball. Skip ball.
On Skip. And we'll have Scooter on the check on Curtis Graham on the free throw line. 9 seconds to play. The Tigers 89, the Alumni 54. As Curtis, has he scored yet tonight, Bob?
No, he hasn't.
As he fires, it's no good. Comes off the iron. Rebound to Adams in traffic, puts it up, and it is no good. We got a whistle. And that foul may be on Eddie McKay. It's on 22, so it's on Eddie McKay or Gary Meadows, one of the two. Now you don't know which one.
No, you really don't.
I think it's McKay, though.
And it's his 4th.
I think that's right. And that puts Jeff Adams on the free throw line for the Tigers. As Adams fires, it's no good. Rebound, slapped around, controlled by Wyrick of the Alumni. Firing from mid-court, throws it out of bounds with 2 seconds on the clock. He put up the air ball. And the Tigers will have one more shot at it as Will throws it up court, and it's intercepted by Crotty, taken away by Harrison, fires at the buzzer, it's no good. Final score of the ball game, the Princeton Tigers 89, and the Alumni 54. As in that 4th quarter, the Alumni got 14 points, while the Tigers got 20. And we'll be back with more. First, let's pause for this. Final score, the Tigers 89, the Alumni 54. The Tigers put together 4 quarters of 20 points, 33 points, 16 points, and 20 points for a total of 89. The Alumni with 19 points, 12 points, 9 points, and 14 points for a total of 54 points. Final score, the Princeton Tigers 89, the Princeton Alumni 54. And we'll be back with more right after this. For us tonight to pick up their 2nd win of the season, though it's an unofficial win. The Tigers having taken the win over the Independence Patriots the other night. As we've got Bob and everybody working, Bob's ready with some stats. So here we go.
Okay, let's try the Alumni first. The Alumni had 19 players dressed tonight, so I'll try them first. David Atkins had 2 points on 1 field goal. Eddie McKay had 1 field goal, 1 of 1 at the foul line, 3 points. Lee Walker was high point man for the Alumni. He had 4 field goals, 2 of 3 at the foul line, 10 points. Mark Edwards on the night was 1 of 3 at the foul line, 1 point. Kevin Martin had 2 field goals for 4 points. Hobart Taylor had 4 field goals, 1 of 2 at the foul line, 9 points. Bill Winfrey, who does a lot of volunteer work with the Princeton Rescue Squad, had 2 field goals. He was 0 of 1 at the foul line, 4 points. Gary Meadows came in. He had 2 field goals. He was 1 of 2 at the foul line, 5 points. Tom St. Clair was 1 of 1 at the foul line, 1 point. Poochie Gardner came in and did not score in the game. Gino Hobson had 1 field goal for 2 points. Eugene Caldwell had 2 field goals for 4 points. Ernie Gillard came in, had no points in the ball game. Jackie Crotty had 1 field goal for 2 points. Terry Smith had 1 for 2 at the foul line, 1 point. Skip Ball came in, had 1 field goal for 2 points. Warwick had 1 field goal. Tommy Warwick, 1 field goal for 2 points, giving the Alumni a total of 23 field goals, 8 of 17 from the foul line, and 54 points. And they had 17 players to score in the ball game, so you'd have to say they had balanced scoring.
We're going to pause a minute and come back for that. Okay, let's pause 30 seconds for this message. Best from all those 17 scorers. Let's see what the Tigers did.
Okay, totals, the Tigers had 37 field goals, 15 of 22 at the foul line, 89 points. The individual scores for Princeton were Mike Eads with 6 field goals, 5 for 5 at the foul line, 17 points. Jeff St. Clair had 3 field goals, 5 for 8 at the foul line, and 11 points. Of course, Jeff missed his first 3 foul shots. James DeWitt had 12 field goals, 1 for 1 at the foul line, 25 points. Stephon Murray came in and had 2 field goals in the third quarter, 4 points. Jimmy Miller had 8 field goals, 4 for 4 at the foul line, 20 points. David Phillips had 4 field goals and 8 points on the night. Curtis Graham came in and had 2 free throws, and he missed both of his free throw attempts, no points. Jeff Adams had 1 field goal and was 0 of 3 at the foul line, 2 points. Darrell Scooter Will came in and had 1 field goal for 2 points, giving Princeton a total of 37 field goals, 15 of 22 from the free throw line as compared to 23 field goals and 8 of 17 for the Alumni. Final score again, 89-54, and I believe Charlie Wright and Jack Alera have some individual and team statistics and rebounding and this sort of thing. Charlie?
Okay, for Alumni here tonight, I have them shooting from the field. They made 23 out of 76 shots for a 32%. Very cold night, probably a big factor in the ball game. They pulled down 40 rebounds and committed 28 turnovers. Very bad sloppy play, just long passes, and that was probably a big factor in the ball game, I thought.
Probably so. The Tigers, of course, again, it's hard for the Tigers to really get up for the Alumni. They know they got a bunch of has-beens out there. The wind's going to run short and their ankles are going to turn. But, Jack, you got some team stats over there?
Okay, individual stats. James DeWitt was high point man. He was 12 of 19 from the field and 1 of 1 from the foul line for 25 points. He also chipped in with 4 rebounds. Jimmy Miller was 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the foul line for 20 points, and he had game high 13 rebounds. Mike Eads had a fine game. He was 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 6 from the foul line for 17 points and 4 rebounds. Jeff St. Clair was 3 of 5 from the field, 5 of 8 from the line for 11 points. He also contributed 6 assists.
6 assists tonight, huh?
Yes, and James DeWitt also had 6 assists.
How many block shots James had tonight?
He had 5 block shots.
Not bad, is it?
No, that's pretty good. Jimmy Miller only had 3 block shots. So who's the intimidator tonight?
I don't know, but we're going to talk with Ralph Ball, but first we're going to pause 30 seconds for this message.
Okay.
And we've got Coach Ralph Ball in, and Coach, the Tigers playing against a team that doesn't have a lot of discipline. Sometimes you don't get a lot of discipline play, but the Tigers were able to do what they had to do.
Yeah, it's in many ways it helps us a little bit. We get our kids, they the game is good for us. We get to play before a crowd and run against some different types of defenses. They played the zone there the last half, and that helps a little bit because we need all the practice against the zone we can get. So it helps us in many ways.
And, of course, also the Tigers got a chance to play against a team that kept a lot of hands on them, and I think the Tigers will see that a lot this year, especially Jim, and as long as the officials will put up with it underneath.
Oh, yeah, they'll foul a little bit more, and, of course, our kids have to learn to be fouled and learn to play against that type of opposition at times, right?
But now, this game is one that you play just for experience, and I'd like to get you to talk with me a little bit about the tournament next week. Now, you got some pretty tall cotton coming in here next Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, we probably have as good attraction as they'll have throughout the state all year. We got 4 good ball teams in here for Friday night, and expect a big crowd and great competition. I think Wheeling Park's undefeated. They won 2-0, I think. Norfolk is 1. They play Beckley, I think, Tuesday night, and I look for them to be undefeated. And they square off against each other, and that's your AAA and your AA champion from last year playing each other, and both of them are strong, and both of them are definitely contenders to win their respective championships this year. You'd have to say Wheeling Park was definitely a contender. They got 2 or 3 of their boys back, and they won it last year, so it's a great first game. And then we play Woodbridge, Virginia, and they're one of the bigger schools in the state of Virginia. They about a 3,000 student school, so it should be 2 great basketball games.
Somebody said up here a while ago that Woodbridge could probably play in the ACC this year.
Well, they're real big, and they've got good. They played a math in those schools up around Washington and St. John's and what have you, and it'd be very tough, very difficult for us, and it's going to take whoever wins Friday night will be square off with each other on Saturday night, so it's going to be a great weekend of basketball.
By the time you get to Sunday or Monday, you could have a team with 2 losses, and that team could still be a very, very good basketball team.
Could be a state contender, right, with 2 losses, and either Woodbridge in their state of Virginia or any one of the teams in our state here.
Of course, the Tigers now have had it kind of slow up before the holiday, but right after the break, you really look into some real shooting matches, because you go into action on the 2nd and the 3rd and the 6th and the 10th and the 13th, so you're going to be very overloaded.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing tough competition all the way through. You can't play till the 17th, I think was the earliest you could play, so after Christmas you play pretty 2 and 3 times a week. I think we got a couple weeks we just have 1 game in there somewhere, but then we got a couple weeks, we got 3 games a week, so it's going to be a lot of basketball between here and March 6th. I think that's our last game.
Well, now, the thing that I think is really looking at is that we have the tournament here January the 2nd and 3rd, and you've got to really take that tournament seriously. You can't really prepare too much for going on the road, but then as soon as the tournament's over with, you've got 2 very tough opponents on the road. You've got to go to Beckley and Oak Hill, and those are hard to win on the road.
Oh, very difficult. Like I say, we with our schedule this year, it's tough, much more difficult as it was last year. If we can duplicate our last year's record by the end of the season, improve every game, we'd have a great year.
Of course, I guess the thing that you worry about, you really can't worry about, but yet I'm sure that you do, is that every time you go out, you've got 5 players on the starting team, and they mesh and work as a unit. And even though you have a bench that you can go to, you really worry about an injury just upsetting the smoothness of your operation, don't you?
Oh, yeah, you can have, anything can happen. It depends on your opponents and how you match up with them, but one player against a certain type of opponent can really hurt you, and maybe another opponent that wouldn't even hurt you. So you never know what might arise there. So we've got some boys that we hope would make us a good, strong bench from, and I think we're a little better prepared in that respect than we was last year. So I think as the season goes on, we'll have 7 or 8 boys we can depend upon.
You notice that the Tigers last Friday night allowed the Independents to score 54 points, and here tonight they allowed the Alumni to score 54 points.
Well, I hope we make a history of that just so we can get more than that.
You don't care how many more, just
55 will be fine.
Okay. Ralph, thanks for coming up to visit with us. That's Coach Ralph Ball, and we'll be talking with him again next Friday night. Let's remind everybody the tournament will be coming in, and we'll be back with more. First, let's pause for this. Okay, final score, the Princeton Tigers 89, the Princeton Alumni 54, as the Tigers now come back into action next Friday night as the holiday tournament opens right here. First game action will pit Wheeling Park against North Fork. That tips off at 7 o'clock. The gates will open at 5:30. Tickets will be on sale right here at the gate, and there will be no advance sale. The admission is $3 for students, $4 for adults. And, buddy, you better get here early unless you want to stand up and watch that one, because they're going to be knockdown, drag-out basketball in the second half. The Tigers swing into action against the Woodbridge Vikings, I think you're right. The Woodbridge Vikings, and they wear dark green and gold. And as somebody said, they could hold their own in the ACC, but the Tigers are going to take them to task on next Friday night.
Well, they say they have everybody back from last year's team, and if they do, it's going to be a very big physical ball team, because they were big and physical last year, and if they've got everybody back, I don't expect them to change.
We know where they're staying, and we're going to keep them awake all night before.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Just don't wake me up when you do that.
Okay. And we appreciate you being with us. Now, I'm Glenn May, speaking on behalf of Gentleman Jack Alera over there, and big, mean Charlie Wright, and, of course, we've had the smooth Craig O, and the effervescent Bob Graham. I'm Glenn May, speaking on behalf of all these people, saying we appreciate the fact that you've allowed us to be a part of your evening. Back to the